Hello again. Here we are for our last video, the one that we're going to have for Christmas. Now, very important today that we focus correctly on everything that we're going to be thinking about, because it's really important. This is probably the most important one. But I've got Zorg here with me. Here he is. Yeah, and he's been talking to me a little bit about all the things that he's been learning about. So we'll just go back over what we've done. The first thing we did was we talked about the star, didn't we? Yes, you did. You did make a star, didn't you? Yes, and it was lovely. Oh, hang on a minute. He's just gone. He's going to get his old star. He's still got his old star. Oh, it's the wrong way round, Zorg. Look at that. Should we turn it round? Yeah, there we go. That's his old star, which he's still got, and he still wants to put back up in his room because it's his favourite. So that's the star, and we made a star as well, didn't we? And that pointed the way for the three wise men to Jesus. It took us all the way to Bethlehem. They followed it, didn't they? Were you following the star, are you? Very good, concentrating on the stars, Zorg. Yeah. So they followed it all the way, didn't they, to Bethlehem, and saw where Jesus was born. More about that later. And then we talked a little bit about Mary and Joseph on their journey. And then we did a stained glass window of the stable with Mary and Joseph in it. And they were there with Jesus. Again, Mary and Joseph looking after the baby Jesus. And then finally, we did some lovely craft with the three wise men, who again show us all about how important it is to worship Jesus. And they brought gifts, didn't they? And they knelt down and they worshipped him. And that takes us, very conveniently, I think I can show you this with Zorg still being here, but to the first picture of the story today. And there they are, the three wise men and Mary and Joseph surrounding Jesus. There he is, nestling in the straw of the stable, in the manger. So I'm going to ask Zorg to sit down. Is that all right? Yes, because you want to hear the next bit of the story, don't you? You're very excited about it. Oh, good, that's good, because you've not heard this part of the story before, have you? No, because remember, he's from outer space. He hasn't heard this story, so he's really excited about what happens now. Okay, so off we go, and you're going to sit down. All right, bye-bye. Right. Okay, so here we have our first page, as I said, and it simply says, "This is the child that was born." Right, let's turn over. Ooh, it's exciting, isn't it? "This is the Christ child, born to be king." There's the stable, see? You see that? A bit shiny. The light that's on the page, but there's the stable. There we go. "This is the Christ child, born to be king, while hosts of heavenly angels sing. These are the wise men come from afar, who also saw and followed the star, bearing the gold and fragrant myrrh and frankincense, the gifts that were placed by the manger warm with hay, wherein a newborn baby lay. This is the ox, and this the ass, who saw those wonders come to pass at the darkened inn, where the only room was a stable out in the lamplit gloom, for the donkey and his precious load, who trudged the long and weary road, looked on by the angel shining bright, who came to the shepherds watching by night, that saw the star in the sky." And then lastly it says, "Still shines the star in the sky." Beautiful. Lovely, lovely book. Show you one or two of the pictures again, just to remind us there are the shepherds, remember? There they are. And then we've got the angel. Beautiful angel picture, all light. And Mary and Joseph on the journey. And then there's the stable animals. And there's Mary and Joseph. And the shepherds with the baby. And then we've got the wise men. the baby being worshipped by the wise men, and then finally the star. Fantastic. So that's our story. I think that Zorg might want to come back now just to say hello and to just have a little quick chat. What did you think of the story? Yeah, very good, wasn't it? Had all sorts of characters, didn't it? Yes. Who's your favourite character? Well, you did like the angel, because the angel's very beautiful, isn't she? Or he. It's probably a he, actually, but it doesn't really matter. The angel was one of the very important characters. But who do you think, Zorg, was the most important character? Who do you think? You think it might be the baby Jesus? I think you're right. The baby Jesus is the most important character because he is why we celebrate Christmas, isn't he? God come down to earth as a baby, and then he grew up, and then he did so much for us, didn't he? We find out all about that at Easter. So really important we remember that, and really important that this Christmas, while we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and not just the fact that it's a nice time of year, because it is a nice time of year and we all do have a lot of fun, but we need to remember that it is about the birth of the baby Jesus. All right? Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to get ourselves set up for our craft now, and then we're going to come back and do that. I'll see you in a minute. Well, we're back, and this is our making time, our craft time, and because we've been thinking and focusing down on the real meaning of Christmas and the baby Jesus, this is what we're going to be making today. We're going to be making a baby Jesus in the manger, and it's like you're looking at the manger straight on like that, and the baby Jesus is looking back at us, and then he's all tucked up here in his bed. There we go. And he's got what we call a halo behind him, which means that he's holy. You can't really see a halo, but it's a sort of depiction. It shows that he's holy. So it's a glittery gold halo, and I put a little bit of decoration on the manger. I'm sure it didn't have decoration, but it's just to make it look a bit prettier. And then you can hang that either up anywhere really, including on the tree. So to make this, you're going to need some lolly sticks like that. I've used yellow ones, but you could use any colour really, and natural lolly sticks would be absolutely fine, in fact probably even better than yellow ones. I didn't have any of those, so 2 lolly sticks. I need some pink card, or beige card, or brown card. Anything that's skin coloured will be fine. So that's what I had, that colour, so that's the one I'm using. And then some gold paper. This is actually from some sweets that we had one Christmas, which I saved the wrapping. They came with a posh wrapping, and I just saved that, and it's a bit of gold paper. But any sort of glittery or gold paper or silver paper would be fine. And then I just chose some quite normal brown paper. This is just sugar paper. Probably got some in school. You might have some at home. Or brown wrapping paper like we wrap parcels in would be fine as well. Anything like that, doesn't really matter. And that's to make the manger end, if you like. In addition, I've got a couple of pens and some scissors, and I've also got some little glittery stars, which you don't have to have. You could use anything really, or just decorate it with gold pen like I've got here. So whatever you like. It's one of those crafts where you can sort of do your own thing a bit. And so then some circles to draw around, and the circles don't have to be exact, as long as the circle that you make for the head is smaller than the one you make on the gold paper. That's the only stipulation. All right, so let's start, and we start by gluing our manger sticks together. So just like that, but cross them over near the bottom. So I've got a glue gun. Again, you can use any glue, doesn't matter what, but I'm using a glue gun for speed. Right, so that's great. Put that down there like that. Glue them together. And there you have the beginnings of our manger in a V shape. And then I'm going to get the paper, and I'm actually going to put it up against that so I can see. All right. And I'm actually going to draw around the V part, just on the outside of the lolly sticks. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to get my black, and actually I won't use a black pen because it might be too strong. Have I got my pencil? There it is. I'm just going to draw on the outside, and I've just drawn, you should be able to see. You see that? Ooh, there we go. I've just drawn on the outside of the V shape along this edge and that edge on the paper. Just as a guideline, I'm just going to cut that now, and I'll just cut straight across the bottom. Right, so this quick cut. Use scissors which are appropriate to you. Adults say are appropriate to you. You should end up with something that looks like that. And all I'm going to do now is get my glue, and I'm going to stick it on the back so it looks like that. So that's the wrong side, and we're going to stick it and put some glue there, and then I'm going to stick it on. So let's go for that. Okay. Right, and you end up with that. Yeah, stuck it on the back, and that's what you end up with. Right, now we need to draw now a circle on the pink card. Now I'm going to draw around something to make my circle, and then I'm going to cut it out. So let me just do that. Brilliant. Right, so I've drawn around it, you see, and now I'm going to cut out my circle to make Jesus's head, particularly his face. Cut him out. There he is. Right, and I'm just going to draw him a little cute face. Hopefully it'll turn out cute. Right, you can go for any kind of face you want, really. I'll put a little curl as well, curl of hair this time. There you go. I haven't bothered with the nose. I've just done for a mouth with little cheeks coming out of it, and then his eyes and his eyebrows. All right, and then I'm going to go with that, draw, but bigger, a halo. And I am going to use a felt tip this time because it needs to show up a bit. So I'm just drawing around my circle. You can use a compass if you'd rather, but just used this draw around, and I'm going to cut that out now as well. Okay, there we go. And now all I've got to do is glue this to that first of all. So I shall do that first. I'm going to put some glue onto the back of the head. Ooh, glue. There we go. There we have Jesus' head. And then we're going to get our manger, and we're going to glue Jesus' head just behind the manger so that you can see most of his smile. Not quite all of it. If you remember on this one, it wasn't quite all showing, but that's fine. So we're just going to glue it on the back. Oops. A spot of glue. Doesn't need too much. There we are. Slightly wonky. Just try and adjust him quickly. There we go. There he is. Okay, so we're nearly done. All we've got to do now is decorate the bit where it's the manger. So, as you remember last time, I used little stars. I've got some other sequins in here, so I might go for those this time round. Slightly different. They're still gold, but they're slightly different because I see them a bit better. Just so as when it's on the tree, if it's on the tree, it'll catch the light a little bit. because it is a Christmas decoration, remember. And then number 3. Picked it up. There we go. And then I'm just going to get my, so I've done that. I'm just going to get my swirls and just swirl around a bit and do some nice patterns just to make it look a little bit more golden. Okay. Lovely. And then the last thing to do, unless you want to decorate this part as well, you could do that. You could put some sequins on there, or you could put some of the gold pen on there, or silver pen, or something like that. Whatever you like. When you're finished and when you're happy, then you just need to get some sort of thread of some description. I've got some string over here. Remember, it's supposed to look a little bit rustic because it's supposed to be Jesus in the stable. I've cut some string. All right, and I'm just going to, you could either tie it on or you could glue it on to the ends. I'm going to glue mine because I know it'll work with a glue gun, but it might not work with, this is one thing that might not work too well with water-based glue. So you might want to tie it on instead. Or you could use a nice bit of ribbon if you fancied using a bit of ribbon. Your mum's got a bit left over, or you've got some in school that you could use, that might work as well. I'm not going to try and lift it up by that yet because it's not dry, but you get the idea. There's the thing that actually holds it up. So you should, I'll hold that one like that, and hold this one like this. You should end up at the end with a baby Jesus decoration. Brilliant. Okay. We're going to finish off now. I'm just going to get Zorg to come back because I know he wants to say goodbye to you, because obviously it's been a bit of a fun time, hasn't it? Yeah. And he wants to, oh, you want to say Merry Christmas? Well, yes, I think we should say Merry Christmas. So a very, very happy Christmas to all of you. Yes, and he's having a look. He's saying Merry Christmas in his own way, but as I say, you can't hear him because he's so high pitched. You can't hear him very well. Merry Christmas, yes, Merry Christmas to everybody. And we hope you have a really lovely time celebrating in school and also at home, and that you'll all be ready for 2023. Can you believe it? We're nearly in 2023. So enjoy your time, have a lovely time, and I hope that you remember all the way through the season what it is we're actually celebrating, the birth of the baby Jesus. Bye.